Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Wednesday, November 16th, 2016, which would be the 104th. Is that right? No, 114th birthday of my mother. Should she still be alive? Is that right? 1910? Yeah. Well, you do the math. 2016 to 1910. Anyway, that would have been her birthday. But my mother she really wanted to be a published author. She spent a lot of her time in the early 1950s and up into the early 1960s writing things. And a lot of them she'd send off to magazines, you know, stuff like this. To see if she could get short stories published or essays published and that sort of thing. And yeah, Paul's reminding me it's 106. So okay, there we are. But anyway, no, she would do this, and when I got old enough and learned to type, I would type up some of these things for her and help her send them off. She wrote a novel, which she sent off a couple times, sent a copy of it to the Library of Congress to get copyright on it, and which I need to, you know, edit and try to get it published, or at least self-published. Obviously, the proceeds would go to the estate, and I'd split them with my sister, because my mother said, you know, you can have this manuscript and make of it what you will. Even though my sister screwed me. But I'll be a good guy and split it 50-50. In any case, she had an interesting take on a lot of stuff. She really didn't like kids to get much older than 4. Or at least deal with them. Well, they stop being fun when they get much older than 4. And that's the case. Anybody that's ever had, you know, number of kids or been around kids knows that's the case. So I want to read you one of these. And this will be the start of a series of maybe about 4 or 5 of these things that I found in this little treasure trove today here. While I was waiting, or not waiting, while I was looking for stuff that, you know, Paul said he had a scrapbook. I'm sure he does somewhere. I think it's down in the basement, by the way. Oh, he's thinking about that. But that's where I think it is. But you know, we had a good look for it yesterday, and I had another good look for it today while he was at work. So I didn't find anything, at least in my north bedroom area. Be that as it may, I'm going to give you my mother's essay written on, well, it says 1,200, that's how many words, called Keeping a Baby a Baby. Let's reemphasize that. Keeping a baby a baby. Quote, I wish it was normal for babies to stay babies longer, unquote. This would be our Lil, who adores Howie Joe. Howie Joe is my sister. Lil was the woman that cared for my mother's mother after she had a major stroke. And in so saying, she voiced a sentiment all of us share. That's quite an assertion. For although we wouldn't be the wicked fairy and wish our babies to remain the tiny cunning, I like that, cunning, because they are cunning, cuddly toys they are in babyhood, we do clutch at the present before the future lengthens their chubby bodies into childhood. There's a way to preserve their babyhood to some degree. Joe and I have adopted it as a hobby. Oh, this is odd. Joe and I, having adopted it as a hobby, have found it a most satisfying, enjoyable recreation. It is the hobby of taking pictures. I assume she means by Joe, she means my dad. Don't say it is too technical, for there was never a greater dud about anything mechanical than I. Many excellent snapshots and one really good movie of Hallie J are credited to me. I boast because I don't think I could learn to take pictures, you see. That's a bunch of bullshit. This woman was one of the smartest individuals I've ever met in my life. She may not have been technically adept. Well, I'm not really either. But I'm not a fool. Don't say it is too expensive. It isn't. Yeah, it is. Kodachrome at that time was hellishly expensive. Not if you omit a movie now and then, a nightclub, a party. Oh yeah, like these were where they were going, or there were nightclubs and parties in Lebanon at the time. These latter are such temporal pleasures, while pictures are a joy for years. That's true. Although Hallie Joe is only 14 months old, I got to find this other one that I want. How grateful I am for that black album labeled Hallie Joe's Picture Diary, already half full of snapshots of her, from one taken in the hospital when she was 6 days old, to the more recent ones of her first birthday, her Christmas. Some a week passes, I don't turn the pages of that book, reviewing our daughter's progress with pride. Well, it's interesting, and this is in a way, rightfully, I think all those photographs are up now at, not at my sister's so much as my niece's, my sister's daughter. She's sort of becoming the archivist, but of course I don't have a bit of any of these things. Don't say you lack the time. Take the time, even if the dishes aren't washed until the next meal. The dusting isn't done. The floors aren't swept. Such tasks will wait, but human growth and change will not. Picture taking does take time. Well, it did then. Properly, it still does now. They should be snapped when baby, I like that one, baby, is in the mood for the tedious business. Baby ought to learn to give the finger really early on, I think. This may not always be when you would most desire, but better indulge baby this once. There is a matter of placing the lights in the proper positions if the pictures be taken inside. Yes, my dad was shooting Kodachrome, and that time the ISO was 8. ISO 8. So yeah, you had to use lights inside during daylight. The light meter read, the footage approximated the camera set. If all this sounds formidable, be of good cheer. It isn't half as difficult as it sounds. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it fucking is. Trust me. I've done that stuff. I came in at the tail end of it when I was a sentient being, when I was not a baby. Don't say you haven't the equipment and that there's none available. There's a limited amount in the market. Well, at that time, you can borrow, perhaps like us, you are not the borrowing type. However, this is an emergency, so borrowing is a legitimate practice. You'll find relatives and friends more than glad to cooperate during this emergency if they are certain their precious equipment will not be abused. When Hallie Jo made her appearance, we had the minimum of equipment. We have only slightly more now. Our Christmas this year consists of a 30 by 40 screen on which to show 16 millimeter home movies and slides. Yeah, they shot a lot of movies. And a projector for showing black and white and color slides, the latter available only because Joe needed it for his work. Yeah, he showed a lot of movies in school to his vo-ed classes. So he'd bring that home to show, used to show stuff. We did have 2 cameras. We had a light meter, which Joe uses, but which I haven't mastered as yet. Later we added 2 metal reflectors and bulbs for additional light, taking inside pictures. And then, as I said, we added the screen and slide projector this Christmas. It isn't necessary to have 2 cameras. The camera doesn't have to be expensive room. We're glad we have 2 because we keep black and white in one and color in the other, but it is wise for a beginner to learn by taking black and white pictures, as the film is less expensive and the technique is less involved. I took the movie which I mentioned previously on a borrowed camera. When we went to see our daughter as she was at 9 months, kicking in her bed, splashing in her tub, playing in her playpen, and bouncing in her teeter chair. We have to borrow a movie projector too, or when we want to see. Both of these are high on our list of musts after the war. We felt justified in borrowing because Hallie Jo's babyhood would not wait for the Germans and Japs to capitulate. The movie was simple to take. Joe was to have helped, but he was too busy during the day, so I decided to tackle the job myself, placing our 2 floodlights and the reflectors about shoulder high on either side of me and focusing them on Hallie Jo, pulling the shades to permit a maximum amount of sunlight to the room. I pressed the button. The whirring began, indicating the picture taking was in progress. The camera was an easy one to operate. There was a metal chart attached which advised as the size of the lens aperture according to the sort of day it happened to be. That done, I was ready to shoot. I had been told 10 feet was the minimum length for one shot. This film was used, the footage registered on a meter at the side of the camera so I could readily see when 10 feet had been filmed and been taken. There were 10 feet of her in the bed, kicking furiously as she always did. When she first wakened, 10 feet in the bassinet and the same amount on her toity, whatever that means. In her high chair, playpen, teeter chair, entering our big bed where she loved to lie and kick until she fell off like I did and broke my collarbone when I was 2. It's okay. I had a lot worse injuries after that.
Sounds like a kid sister.
If I were beginning again, I would try to get an 8mm camera. No, shit, mother. The film was much cheaper. Yeah, much crappier too, honey. For home use, the pictures are quite large enough. Black and white pictures are the simplest to take. Yes, they are, yes. They can be taken inside or out. If shot inside, lights help. but are not a must. Sometimes film is scarce, but we have found by having our name on the waiting list of our local druggist, usually get it by the time our need for it becomes urgent. And this is during wartime, by the way. I mean, this is like, during World War II. Our black and white pictures began with Hallie Joe at 6 days in the hospital, as I mentioned before, and include pictures of her faces of growth and activity almost weekly ever since. Pictures in color are somewhat more difficult to take. They require more light and exactitude. All of our Kodachromes. Oh, why did they ever get rid of that? They've been taken outside because of our lack of adequate inside lighting. Prints from good Kodachrome slides are available in various sizes and cost from 75 cents for the smallest to several dollars for the larger one, which at that time was a hell of a lot of money. A lot of money. We had a number of the smallest size printed for ourselves as gifts. They fit nicely in a folder for your purse, where they're ready for the proud parent to display to anyone evidencing the slightest interest in offspring. Pictures do make lovely gifts, so many of our friends are scattered over the globe now. Over the globe. That's just bullshit. I've never heard anybody over the globe, but she mentioned. If she did have, she kept that a secret. How grateful they are for pictures of the baby. The baby. They are not privileged to see as she grows from month to month. We send pictures as greetings at Christmas, birthday, and Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, give me a fucking break. Soon we hope to get equipment to do our own printing and enlarging. Oh, my dad always wanted to do that, but it just didn't work. I mean, there just wasn't any really convenient way to do that. Start taking pictures of your baby now. Then someday, when my mother was already into the, let's expand the pronoun thing. Even then, well, she was always kind of progressive, despite herself. Progressive. Then someday when she prays before you in her first formal, oh, fuck me, kisses you goodbye and is whisked off by some swain to her first party. I guess really fucked heavily and hard. Oh, my mother didn't write that. You can get out your album and see her in another long dresses. Yes, it's like, that'd be called a hospital gown after, the blood was dripping out her wazoo from being really hurt. Only this time it will be her christening one. Did I just say those two things? Yeah, I did. The pictures, quote, I wanted to open my birthday gifts, quote, unquote. Mothers, quote, mothers. Mothers and daddy's card is funny, unquote. And see my new robe, unquote. Or some of the later pictures. Should you be interested in some of the younger ones, I'll be glad to have prints made. Well, this wasn't the one I thought it was. I have yet to find my favorite one from my mother called, Why Do They Have to Get Older Than 4? I'll keep looking. I'll probably find it. This does, though, start a series of things my mother wrote. So, with full credit to Dawn Baldwin Kersey, my mother, and God bless my mother. Obviously, you love your mother. She just inherited me. You know, I did. I honored this. I obeyed the seventh commandment, but that's okay. I bear her no ill will. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them that trespass against us. So, on that note, I'll say bye-bye, YouTubers.